Hey everyone, so really quickly before we get into the video, I wanted to show you guys a very quick and easy way to save some money if you are interested in becoming a certified Scrum Master and you want to go through the course that I went through. So you want to go to knowledgehut.com, and when you're on the website, you want to go over to courses, and then you're going to click on Certified Scrum Master Certification. Once you're there, you want to click on View Schedules, and you will see that the classes range from $3.99 to about $4.95. So once you get to this page, you will notice that the classes range and they all have different prices. So you are more than welcome to click on any price that works for you, and it also depends on what day of the week that you take the course. So what I'm going to do is just randomly click on this one. And once you're there, you want to make sure that you enter two codes. So on your left hand side, you'll see, do you have a referral code? So the answer is yes. So you want to enter this code. And then on your right hand side under promo codes, you want to enter the following code. And so you will notice that this course goes from $399, and when you click apply, you save about $20. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below, or feel free to contact me at the information listed in the description box. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Lot Goddess. Welcome back to my corner where I inspire others to dream more, live more, and become more. So if you are new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Do not forget to subscribe, but only subscribe if you're feeling the vibe, okay? I just recently hit 5K, so I know I got some new people that are over here on the channel. Thank y'all so much for just always showing me love. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about 5 absolute major skills that you need as a Scrum Master. So if you are interested in Scrum and you don't really know where to start, you don't know what skills you need, and you need to figure out whether or not you even have the skills, that's exactly what this video is for today. So if you're interested in other content related to Scrum, I plan on doing a lot more videos for you guys. So make sure you click that subscribe button and let's jump right into it. So the number one skill is you have to be organized. And I'm not just talking about you organized as an individual, but you also have to know how to organize and manage multiple calendars, right? So on a Scrum team, it consists of 3 different types of people. You as a Scrum Master, number 2, your product owner, and number 3, your developing team. You have to know how to be organized. You have to know how to communicate with these people to find out what their schedules are. When it comes to doing your daily stand-up, which if you're not into Scrum or if you have never heard of a daily stand-up, basically that's when you and your Scrum team meet for 15 minutes every single day. So if you are not an organized person and you want to get into Scrum, I'm telling you now, sis, or bro, or whoever's watching this video, you're gonna struggle, okay? So more than anything, make sure you are organized. Knowing how to use a planner, whether that's your digital planner or whether that's a physical planner. You as a Scrum Master, you set the tone for the rest of your team. So if you're not organized, chances are they're not gonna be organized. It's not gonna be strong communication. Number one, over anything else that I say in this video, you have to be organized. So the number 2 skill, you have to know how to forecast your barriers, okay? So one of the major keys of being a Scrum Master is being able to remove impediments. Anything that can come in the way of blocking your team from reaching the end goal, whatever that project is, you have to be the one to be able to hop in and say, okay, hold on. Whether it's at the beginning of a project, in the middle, or even toward the end, if it's something that you notice early on, you have to know how to spot that and be like, hold up, are y'all sure we should do it this way? Last time we tried it like this, it didn't really work. You as a Scrum Master, you're like the barrier buster, okay? Like, you gotta be hitting the Heisman on any possible issue that could come along. Even like, honestly, prior to them happening or once they happen, you have to know how to really think quick on your feet and say, okay, this is a barrier. What can we do right now in this moment to readjust that? And so then that way, when the issue does happen, y'all are already prepared for exactly how to deal with it, because you as a Scrum Master have already identified it and you guys have already planned for it as a team. All right, number 3, which I feel like is also super important. All of these are really important, to be honest, but my number 3 strong like major skill that you absolutely have to possess as a Scrum Master is you have to be a strong communicator. So kind of what I touched on in the last point when I talked about knowing how to identify barriers, and when you see those barriers, you have to pretty much let the team know, like, hey, this is what's going on. Strong communication. I want to emphasize the word strong, okay? Not just communication, but strong communication. So that might look like communicating across multiple platforms, like if you use Microsoft Teams Teams, if you guys use email, if you guys use Slack, whatever those things are, you have to know how to effectively communicate to make sure that you are getting these messages across to every single person that's on your Scrum team. What your product owner knows, your developers should also know the same thing. So if you don't have strong communication as a person, then that means that you're not gonna be on the end of what's going on with your project, and chances are stuff gonna go left, and you don't want that to happen, okay? It actually might be good when you first join your Scrum team to just ask your team, like, what do you all prefer as far as communication? I feel like now, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like most times people don't really communicate via phone as much unless it's absolutely mandatory. And when I say phone, I mean like pick up the phone and dial somebody's number, right? Aside from that, most times people typically use like the instant messenger app. You wanna make sure that when you first join your team, you wanna ask them, what are your best ways of communication? But the whole point is that you wanna make sure that you understand your team's main means of communication, because if you're sending stuff via email and you're noticing that it's getting missed or people aren't reading it, blah, 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 it could probably mean that that's not the primary way that you should communicate with your team. Now, of course, you know, we're adults, we're working professionals, right? Like everybody should be checking their emails. That's no secret. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you identify what's most effective, because what might be good for you really might not be good for your team. And at the end of the day, as a Scrum Master, your goal is to be a team player. Like that is your main role, is to be a team player across the board. So figuring out exactly the best way you can reach each of your team members, and you guys will come and kind of meet in the middle, and you say, okay, if we're going to communicate via Slack, then I need for you guys to have your notifications turned on. Like having a proper protocol for communication too. So if it's something that's major, you might tell your team, hey, if it's something that's major that y'all need, I need y'all to pick up the phone to call me. You have to just kind of detect and figure out exactly what works best for your team, but nonetheless, effective communication across the board. So as we move into the next point, number 4, we talked a little bit about being effective. So along with being a strong communicator and an effective communicator, you also have to have effective leadership skills. And 9 times out of 10, y'all, the best thing about these tips and the best thing about these skills is that 9 times out of 10, you have already exhibited what it means to be an effective leader in any of your roles. It doesn't matter if you are a hairstylist, if you do sales, if you are already a project manager, if you're a teacher. My whole point is that these skills are transferable. So getting into effective leadership, I feel like, again, heavy on effective, okay? You have to have effective leadership, and you have to understand that number 1, you cannot have a strong head without a strong body, okay? Let me kind of make sure I clarify that point. So you as a Scrum Master, you are not the manager of your team. Let me be clear. It's not like project management, but even project managers, they're not literally over their team as a manager, but they just kind of act as a manager of projects. So it's the same thing with the Scrum Master. You are a master of Scrum. Your goal is to teach your team about the Scrum framework, about Scrum Guide, and things like that. If you notice that people are kind of overstepping boundaries, if you notice that people are kind of dibbling dabbling a little too much in a role that's not theirs, you got to be the one to be like, hold on now, hold on, like, hold on. We are leaders, but at the end of the day, we cannot step on each other's toes, okay? So you have to be an effective leader. You have to learn and know how to be assertive. If it seems like something is off, if it seems like there's a gap somewhere, your goal is to be the person to bridge that gap, to take it from here to here. And along with leadership, another thing about it is that you also have to know how to be a healthy leader, okay? Because I've had managers who, they are like micromanagers, where I felt like they didn't really trust that I could do my job. And so instead, I was constantly getting emails, text messages, phone calls to see if I had done something or if there was a report that was complete. Or sometimes, you know, people who micromanage, they feel like their way is the only way that's right. And so as an effective leader, you also have to be okay with saying, okay, you know what? This isn't really my way, but it's still complete and it's still accurate and it still looks good. And that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Along with having a manager who is more like a micromanager, I've also had people who are just almost too hands off, to the point where I felt like I was kind of by myself. And so for me, I take a lot of pride in being able to say that I can be an effective leader, but I'm also a really good follower. Like, I don't know everything. And so I feel like a part of being a Scrum Master is understanding and having that humility to understand that you don't know it all, okay? So sometimes being able to be submissive to what other people's advice is also super important. So my whole point is, when it comes to effective leadership, you want to be there for your team. You want to be able to say, look, I got y'all. What do you guys need? Are y'all feeling burned out? Are you guys feeling overwhelmed? What can I do, or what can we do together to make this team flow and to get to that project deadline? So last but not least, you have to be confident, and you also have to be assertive. So I feel like there's a huge difference between being assertive and being dominant, okay? You do not want to be dominant. You do not want to be domineering to the point where you're literally telling your team what to do. Just like I said in the last point, you are not the team's manager. You're not their supervisor. You're not their boss. If you want to be in like a role where you're kind of like telling people what to do, then being a Scrum Master really might not be the career for you, to be honest, because everybody is like equal, okay? So you have product owners here, you have software developers, or just you have your development team on this side. You as a Scrum Master, you're in the middle. You guys are all on the same playing field. There's no one person higher than the other. You guys all work effectively together. So just going back to being confident, like you have to be able to be assertive. Scrum, I feel like Scrum is like the newbie in like the IT or, you know, like the technical field. So a lot of people will look at you and they'll wonder like, what is even your role? Like, what are you even doing? And people won't give you that respect. So you gotta really be able to assert yourself, like put some respect on my name, period. Like you have to assert yourself and let them know don't play with you. When you're going into a new team as like a Scrum Master, you don't wanna go in there with this leadership mindset of I'm gonna whip everybody in shape. Like everybody better listen to me. I'm the Scrum Master. This is what I say, this and that. Nobody's gonna respond to that, okay? Like if you wouldn't want anybody to do that to you, then you can't be the one to do that to other people. So understanding the difference between being assertive and being dominant is super duper important. Also having the confidence to advocate for your team, right? Like if it's something that's going on, maybe the higher ups, maybe they want to change something with the project, maybe they want to like come in and like do something with the sprint and you guys are in the middle of a sprint and they want something to change, you have to be the one to kind of step in and really advocate for your team. Again, your whole goal is to really protect your Scrum team like your child, okay? Like your Scrum team is like this little delicate little egg and your goal is to protect it at all costs. All right, so that's gonna be the end of this video. Now, I don't want y'all to get too nervous, or if you probably feeling like, dang, is that it? Just those 5 skills? Those are my top 5, but guess what? The good news is that I have 5 more tips for you. So after you get done watching this video, if it's not out already, it's gonna be out very soon. So I'm gonna be filming a part 2, and I'm gonna be giving you guys 5 more effective skills that every single effective Scrum Master needs, okay? So make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below and let me know, like, what other skills do you feel like are effective as a Scrum Master or program manager, project manager, whatever it is in general. Let me know in the comments down below. And that is gonna be the end of this video, and I will see you guys in part 2. Bye guys.